Hey Menahga 4th grade, it's Mr. Schroeder here with your math enrichment lesson. Today, your goal is that students will be able to round. Maybe this is something that you've heard of last year a little bit, and maybe you've done it a little bit in your math journal this year, but I'm going to give you a 4-step system to make sure you round the correct way each and every time. One thing I talk about in my class, before we even talk about the 4 steps to rounding, I want you to memorize this picture I'm about to draw. There are 10 digits in the base 10 system. That's our counting system. So it's 0 through 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make 10 digits total. And this is kind of a fun way to help you remember how to round before I get into these steps. These digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how I'm writing them up high now. 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I like to draw these ones over here in balloons for a reason. And as I draw this, I want you to kind of take a mental image of what this picture looks like, because we're going to be using it in order to round any number. So, as you can see, the digits 0 through 4 are kind of lazy. They like to hang out in the sunshine, maybe go tanning, lay on the beach all day long. But numbers 5 through 9 are very active. They're flying away. They're in balloons. They like to do things and be active all day long. So remember that as we go through these steps. My first step is to underline place value. That was a huge thing we talked about at the beginning of the year. Place value, place value, place value. So right away, when you're rounding, you need to think to yourself, what place value am I rounding to? Well, let's just say I have a 3-digit number, like 864. I could round that number to the tens, nearest 10, and I could round that number to the nearest 100. Now, I'll just pick 10 for now. If I'm rounding to the nearest 10, the first step in my 4-step system is to underline the tens place value. Pretty simple so far. I'm going to move on to step 2. Step 2 would be circling the friend to the right. So I'll say circle friend to the right. So in this case, the digit 4 is to the right of the place value that I underlined. So I'm going to circle that friend. Step 2 done already. Step 3. We have to use this little picture I drew. We have to ask ourselves, enjoy our day or fly away. Numbers 0 through 4, enjoy their day. Numbers 5 through 9, fly away. These digits, the underlined digit and the circled digit, are now hanging out together. But each and every time, the circled friend to the right gets to decide what to do for that day. And in this case, the circled digit is a 4. So no matter what number is underlined, I look to the circled friend and say, does the 4 or the circled friend enjoy its day or fly away? And using my picture, I can see that 4 likes to enjoy its day because it's on the ground. So 0 through 4, the underlined number stays the same because they're just going to hang out, relax. They're not going to do much. They're not going to be very active. So the 6 stays the same. And that brings me to writing down this one first. Enjoy or fly is what I say for step 3. You have to ask yourself, does the circled friend enjoy its day or fly away? And since these two are hanging out, the 4 told the 6 to just enjoy your day. Stay the same. Now, step 4 is everything to the right of the underline becomes a 0. You might have to watch this video a few times to make sure you understand what I just drew there, but everything to the right of the underlined place value, which is the place value that you're rounding to, should become a 0. And that is it. Those are the 4 steps to rounding. I'm going to walk you through just a little bit more because it can look a little different too. So this closest 10, which is what we're trying to figure out, when I got this original number, 864, we were trying to figure out the closest 10 to this number. It was either going to stay a 6, or if it was to fly away, it would go up 1 and become a 7. So my two options immediately, and I'll show you another visual to help you understand rounding as well. My two options were either stay a 6, or if this 4 would have been a 5 through a 9, which means it would have flown away, the circled number, well, then it would have bumped the 6 up to become a 7. 8, 7, 0. Sorry, it's kind of hard to write down here, but if I made a line, a number line, between 860 and 870, the halfway point would have been 865. And here's kind of a trick for you to remember, especially when you look at this balloon. When you get halfway, you always round up, because 5 flies away. So if I look at my number right here, it says 864, which on this number line, it would have been 861, 862, 863, 864, 865, 866, 867, 868, 869, 870. 864 would have been about right here. That's just a little bit of an estimation, but is that closer to 860? Is that a closer jump to 860? Or is it a closer jump to 870? Just based on that number line, you can see that the smaller jump would be to 860, which makes 860 the closest 10. That's what rounding is in general. Some people can do this pretty quickly in their head. And that's kind of the goal of these 4 steps, is to get you faster at it. If I have a number like 643 and I want to go to the closest 10, I'll show you my 4 steps in a second here, but you underline this and say to yourself, is it closer to 640? Or if it goes up 1, 650. Well, then you look at the friend to the right, the circled friend, and 3 enjoys its day, so the 4 is going to stay the same, 640. Pretty simple. If that 3 wouldn't have been a 3, and let's just say it would have been a 7, well, underline the place value I'm looking for, step 1. Circle the friend to the right, step 2. Step 3, does the 7, the circled friend, decides what to do. Does that enjoy its day or fly away? It'll tell the underlined number what to do. 7 flies away. So 4 will also fly away, and it only goes up 1. So the 4 becomes a 5. Everything to the left stays the same, and finally step 4 is everything to the right of the underline becomes a 0. The closest 10 would have been 650. This works every single time for any place value that you use, even if it's in the thousands. This might be my last example, and then I'll give you some to try at home. If I'm rounding to the nearest thousand, I have a number like 62,823. Follow the system. The more you do it, the faster you'll get at it. So underline the place value I'm looking for. The 2 is worth 2,000. Then I circle the friend to the right. It's 8, enjoy its day or fly away. On my drawing, it says it flies away. So the 2 flies away as well, because the circled friend tells the underline what to do, and becomes a 3. 6 stays the same. Everything to the left stays the same. Everything to the right becomes a 0. I'm already trying to get a little faster with you on this video, but the more and more you do it, you might not even need to underline and circle. You're trying to find the closest thousand. You can maybe see that in your head just by looking at the number and saying, ooh, 800 is going to put this 2,000 to a 3,000, so 63,000 is the closest thousand. That's what rounding is in general. At home, if you want to try rounding to the nearest 10 on these 3 numbers, that would be some good practice and